Hello, this is the Week 8 lecture called Debriefing for the Family Health Promotion Plan. I am Vanessa Kramus, and I'm a faculty here at Grantham University for about 3 years. Prior to that, I worked for approximately 20 years at another university where I started doing simulation back in 2008. And prior to that, I was an emergency department nurse for 15 to 18 years and then became a nurse practitioner. That's kind of my background, just so you can see where I rotate from. So let's talk about debriefing. There's a couple of different kinds of debriefing. There's educational, simulation, and critical incident. Critical incident's been around longest after people have gone through traumatic experiences such as 9/11, airplane crashes, terrible codes, things like that. Members of the incident will meet, get together, and discuss and share information about the event. And then they will what's called debrief, or they will get out their feelings, their distress, how they did, their if they had any feelings that they failed, and what the outcomes were. Educational debriefing is more like reflections. And as students here at Grantham, you have seen reflections over and over because we require you in many of the courses to do reflective papers. And then simulation debriefing started with simulation, of course, and that's where the faculty give the students feedback. They also might show a video of the simulation that the student went through, and they actually will have the student do feedback. But it can get very emotional. The student can feel very upset about their interactions or their inability to complete the simulation, but it is really a good learning experience. Here's a review of the Family Health Promotion Plan that you went through in this course. Identifying the family, and you can read through this. You summarized all your data, you developed your rationales, you communicated, and now you're doing your reflection. And this lecture is pretty much just to help you reflect on the entire process. It's asking you questions. So let's think back to the family. Were you really satisfied with your family selection? Were they cooperative? Were they not? Did they think that they needed help? Were you able to find that they had any issues? And if you could make a change, would you make a change in your family? And just tell us why. Next part that you completed in your plan was to write your goals. Were your goals thorough? Were they thorough enough or too specific? Were you able to meet them? How did you meet them? Did everything go as planned according to your goals? Now we move into your family assessment. I think this part, the family assessment, is going to would be harder for you because you have to get the family to open up. So what kind of questions did you ask? Hopefully you didn't ask all yes/no things. Hopefully you asked those open-ended questions where you could get the family to tell you more information. How willing were they to answer your questions? How willing were they to admit that they had issues? What was their perceived degree of control over their health status? Did they think that they couldn't make a change, that they feel lost, or were they willing to make a change? Was it easy to get data from them? Were they um, very good at participating? If not, then what could you have done better? How could you have changed your questions? The next step that you went through was to synthesize that collected data. That, to me, that would be another difficult area. Summarizing all that data, and hopefully you received a lot of data from your family. Did you get enough? Was it enough to make some to be able to do a summary or to make some judgments. Were you able to identify anything that was life-threatening? Were there priorities? How did you prioritize? Did you find community or online resources? And prior to looking at all that data, were you able to research your family's culture and see how they would interact with you? Maybe that was where you had some difficulty. How could you do this better? Then the last portion, well, one of the last portions, is to make the recommendations to the family. So now that you have collected data, gotten to know the family, prioritized, made some decisions and synthesis about the family, now you have to go back to the family and talk to them about it. So what kind of strategy did you use after gathering all your information? What was, for this specific family, what was the best possible way to talk to them or to do their teaching? Did you work with them as a consultant? Did you coordinate or actually help them look up resources? Were you a counselor? Were you empathetic? So what kind of feelings did you um, give to the family? Was it compassionate care? What kind of impact do you think that you made on this family? Or do you think they didn't believe you at all? So what kind of changes would you make? Frequently asked debriefing questions. These are debriefing questions that were developed when simulation was just starting out, and they are very good for any situation, and they can be used for any project, any critical incident. So let's take a look at them. So if you could go back and make any changes to this project, anything that you did, what would that change be and why? Were you satisfied with everything that you did in this project? What did you do well? What didn't go so well, and what could you have handled differently? What did you learn? Must have been something. How could this whole project be improved? And is there anything else that you would like to discuss? As you're thinking through this exercise, thinking through all those answers to the questions that I've just posed to you, reflect on the entire assignment. Maybe take it apart bit by bit, but reflect on what you did, what you learned, what you could improve on. How are you going to improve on that? Because as you follow through in nursing, you have to reflect on your day-to-day nursing activities at the bedside. So don't forget that you need to look at areas for improvement. People are not 100% every time they do a project or when they take care of a patient. So there's always room for improvement, and that's how we learn. I only really have one true reference for this because being an NLN simulation leader, I have learned a lot about simulation. One of my colleagues, Amy Copperwaite, wrote a beautiful article about the Jeffrey simulation framework, and I used a little bit from her paper for this. And then the Jeffries person that I'm talking to is Dean Pamela Jeffries. She was a mentor of mine when I was going through the NLN program. She wrote the first model for simulation. And since then, since back in, I think she wrote that in 2006, um, she has touched every type of simulation that has come out, from face-to-face to using actors to using the virtual simulation that you use right now. So Dr. Pamela Jeffries has touched all of our lives through simulation. I hope that you now have a better understanding of what reflection and debriefing is. I hope that this helps you to prepare your reflective paper. We also have given you 2 resources within the course on how to write a reflective paper or how to be self-reflective. So I just want you to take this information with you and see what you can do with it. So long for now.